My father was raised in Massachusetts, and my mother was raised in Kansas. And they got married, I think it was 45 right after the war. Dad got back from the war and they got married then. My dad was 5 foot tall. His sisters were all 4'7", 4'6", and all their kids, the twin girls, was like 4'3", 4'2". I got a picture of them that I'm standing behind them all at the fireplace. My mother's best friend was Hazel Kern, and she had 13 kids. So I had plenty of people I could hang out with. We'd take our BB guns and we'd go out to the river and try to shoot crows or birds or whatever we could plunk. We played tag. We played tag on our bikes. The object was whoever was it had to touch somebody, right? Well, we'd have to touch them with the front tire of our bike, touch their bike, which will wreck you most of the time. We'd have to pedal around and we'd run all over the north end of town and hollering and yelling, you know, and climb trees, catch snakes. I came home with 3 snakes one time. I had 2 black snakes around my arms and a big bull snake draped over my neck. And I was dumb enough to walk in the house. And I walked in the house and my mother, chased me out with a broom. She had a broom after me, beating me on the back with it, getting me out of the house. But we didn't have a lot when I grew up at all. I had friends in the north end of town that had dirt floors. The house we lived in, we rented it from my grandfather, and it was just 3 rooms. But we were happy. Mom had orange crates for cupboards. We had an ice box, no refrigerator. We didn't have an indoor toilet. We had to go out to the outhouse. We didn't have hot water. We had to go to Granddad's. I think the most embarrassed I ever was one time when I was in like 3rd grade, I think it was, or 2nd or 3rd grade. And I outgrew my shoes that summer. And my school shoes were too small for me. And my mother cut the toes out of them. I had to wear them to school like that. Like sandals, And that's pretty tough. That's one thing that's really, I always remember that. I never held it against her because I knew she couldn't afford the shoes. Those are some tough times. But I think it makes you want to do more for yourself when you get older. If you're not handed it, you work harder. I was 12 years old. I set pins at the bowling alley. That's when you had to jump down after they threw a ball. You jump down in the pit, and first ball, grab what pins was there and threw them up in the rack, and then if you could, before they threw the second ball. If not, you'd have to wait till I threw them all. Then you jump down the pit and throw them back up in the tray and get it full and hit the button and hit the lever, and then go down and hit the other lever and then set them and then come back up. You set up above in between the 2 lanes. You set 2 lanes. You got 2 cents a line or a game. That was fun. Made some money and didn't spend every bit of it though, just a kid. I started working for the railroad, Missouri Pacific Railroad, the summer of '66, I think it was. And I was working in Superior, Nebraska and got my draft notice. Ended up going into Fort Riley, Kansas, of all places. So I hitchhiked home from there whenever I got the chance to come home. I got rides with all manner of people. I mean, it's crazy. Like one time I got like 11 different rides getting 75 miles. Rode in the back with a pony once. And then we went to Vietnam in January of '67. Yeah, there was some funny things that happened. I was a bit of a prankster and I wasn't really afraid of a whole lot. And we were in a Class 6 club over there. You had to be E5 or above to go to Class 6. That's what it was. But you're supposed to be E6, but they let buck sergeants in, and I was a buck sergeant at the time. And these special forces guys was in there acting like idiots. And so they were really drunk about 2 o'clock in the morning, so I went up and I pickpocketed both of them. I took their K-bar knives out of their scabbard. And I kept one for myself, and then I walked over right before we left and I sold one of them back to one of the guys for $5. And he was so drunk, he paid me $5 and looked at it, put it right back in his scabbard. I went to Vietnam with 126 guys, and only about, I don't know, maybe 30 made it back. That flag was taken from a VC after we were ambushed one day, and a VC guy had it stuffed in his shirt. That's a VC helmet liner. This is a South Vietnamese Special Forces guy, traded hats with me, traded this to me for a hat that I had, that I'd made. And my sister gave that to me, and those are the things that my unit was awarded. So, life's what you make of it. If you want to live in the past, you can. I don't want to. It's the only past I don't live in it, but I always want to remember all those guys that didn't get to come home. You know, and when we came back, it was different than it is today. You know, I probably had more people in the last 5 years thank me for my service than the first 45. So that's pretty much every place I've been, I've had that on my wall. Right before I went to Vietnam, I asked Jenny, my wife, if she would go on a date with me. And she said, "No, I don't know you." And I said, "Well, I'll call you tomorrow then." And I never did. And then when I got back, I saw her down at the drugstore here in town. And I asked Jenny, I said, "You feel like a date now?" So Jenny and I started dating, and 46, almost 47 years later, here we are. She's probably the prettiest girl in Concordia. What makes me happy now is just be able to do things I want to do. If I want to go golfing, I can go golfing. If I want to sleep, I can sleep. If I want to work on a project, I can work on a project. If Jenny needs me to do something for her and honeydews in the house, then I got more time to do that. And I don't have to rush to do it. I can, take some time to make sure it's done right, which I do anyway. But yeah, I just like being able to do what I want to do now. Get in the mood to go down and sing, I go down and sing. I don't have to sing for somebody, I just like to sing. I remember one of my classmates saying that one thing they remember about me back in the 50s and 60s, me going up and down the hallways singing stuff. I thought, well, really? He said, hell yeah, you used to. And I didn't start singing again until I was, karaoke came around in the 80s. And I just didn't even know what it was. Walked into a place one time and they had it. And somebody said, "You know how to sing?" I said, "Well, I think so. I haven't forgot." But another thing that happened when I was I guess I was 30. I lost almost all my hearing, and I had it restored over a 3-year period. So then I could hear myself and I started singing again. I grew up with Elvis and Jerry Lee and all those guys. Yeah. Words of wisdom: be nice to everybody, because you don't know how long you're going to be able to do that. You don't know when the next chance when it's all over. So just be nice to people.
It's getting dark, too dark to see. I feel I'm knocking on heaven's door. Yeah, knocking on heaven's door. Knocking on heaven's door. Knocking on heaven's door.